Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, we'd like to welcome all of the wonderful devotees who have joined us over YouTube Live, devotees who have joined us over Facebook Live, and dear devotees who have joined us over Zoom. We welcome each and every one of you to this day 3 of Sri Utsavamrita. Now, this Utsavamrita sessions, as we know, is where we listen to Nectarian Katha and we meditate upon upcoming festivals, appearance days and disappearance days of our acharyas. So before we proceed further, we'd like to announce and congratulate the participants from the quiz session from yesterday. We'd like to congratulate Hari Prasad Prabhu, Mother Amrita Radhika, Anjudi, Shimantadweep Prabhu and Vaijayanti Lalita Mataji, Mitanjali Pradhan Mataji, Meera Bhushan Mataji, Janeshwar Gauranga Prabhu, Varshana Chitra Mataji, Hari Krishna Madhali Prabhu, and Ranjani Gopika Mataji. Thank you all so very much for your enthusiastic participation in the quiz session.
In today's session of Utsavamrita, the nectar of festivals, we'll be discussing the festivals that appeared in this week. On Monday, August 1st, was the disappearance day of Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj and also of Sri Raghunandana Thakur. And so today we will discuss their glories and discuss why did Gopinath bite Half-a-Laddu. So these Avirbhava or Tirobhava Tithis, meaning the appearance and the disappearance days of the Lord, of the Vaishnavas, are equally significant and auspicious as that of the Lord because they both invoke their remembrances of the devotees. And when we remember devotees, automatically we remember Krishna. When we remember Srila Prabhupada, who do we remember? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna and Radha. So today we will glorify these two most wonderful acharyas celebrating their appearance days. Disappearance days.
So we'll start with the glories of Sri Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. Now, Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj was actually a contemporary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he was present in Navadvip when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was also present. And Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he was a Siddha Mahatma. And he actually falls in the disciplic succession line of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. And he actually was almost like an avadhut, you know, he used to live in a world of his own. His world was actually centered around his life was his 6 deities. And his 6 deities were Gaura, Gadadhara, Nityananda, Shri Radha, Krishna, and Gopala. So these were the 6 deities of Sri Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj. And for the services of these 6 deities, he just had very, very simple, paraphernalia. He would have 2 brass pots. He would have some earthen pots, 1 plate, 1 glass, some small cups, little conch shell, little brass bell, nothing else. He actually did not even have anything for himself. No utensils, no pots. He would just eat their Mahaprasad directly from the hand on a leaf plate like that. So Babaji Maharaj, he would pass day and night, he would just in service of these six deities of his. And he would go in the morning and he would collect flowers, he would make garlands for the deities. Then he would go and beg, bhiksha for the deities, and he would collect alms, and whatever bhiksha he would get, he would come and cook bhoga for the deities very, very lovingly, and he would offer them very lovingly. And Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj never actually locked the door of his kutir when his deities would be inside and he would go out either to collect flowers or to beg for food. He would never lock the door.
Or even when he went to bathe in Ganga, he would never lock the door. And if someone would ask him, hey, you did not, Babaji Maharaj, you did not lock the kuti. Why is that so? And he would say, well, I'm not the owner of the house. Owner of the house is Gaur Gadadhar Nitai, Radha Krishna, and Gopal. And I've given the keys to Gaur Nitai and Gadadhar. Now, these boys, the house is under their care. If they want anyone to come in, what can I do? I do not even keep the keys of the lock with me. The lock has three keys, and all the three keys are with the three boys, with Gaura, with Nitai, with Gadadhar. And after he entrusted the lock and the keys to the three boys, Babaji Maharaj would be free from anxiety. And if while he was out, maybe sometimes a cow would just come inside his house, because it was a very simple straw hut. And if a cow would come inside and turn everything topsy turvy, he would come back and then he would be very angry with the boys. And he would say, if someone stole something from the kuti, he would say, Gaura, what can I do? Gaura has some soft corner for the Nadia Vasis. He wants them to steal something. It's up to him, it is his own dham, his own people, whatever he wants, he can do. So he gives away these things to him. Who am I to stop him? One time, one devotee gave the deities of Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj a gold necklace. Gaura, he gave especially the Gaura deity a gold necklace. And Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj said, wonderful, this is for Gaura. He offered to Gaura. And then he entrusted the keys and the lock to Gaura Gadadhar Nitai, and he left out of the house for Bhiksha. And when he came back to the kuti, he saw that the golden necklace was not there. And he started scolding Gaura. Who did you give the necklace? Who did you give the necklace? And towards the evening, he got a hint. And then he went to the house of the thief and asked him, give me the necklace, Malata dao. And the thief, he got afraid and he just pushed Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj down the veranda of his house. And Babaji Maharaj was hurt, but he didn't say anything. But how could Gaura tolerate this? So this thief, along with his family members, very soon died and passed away.
This is what, sometimes the devotees, they will not react to what maybe some injustice that is done to them. They may not react. But Krishna, if the devotee leaves everything in Krishna's hand, then Krishna will react at the appropriate time. May not be immediately, but Krishna will react.
That was the faith of Srila Babaji Maharaj, and Krishna, Gaura, and his six deities reciprocated with that faith. One time, Babaji Maharaj had to punish Gaur Nitai for their involvement in a theft. The two brass pots that Babaji Maharaj would use to offer bhoga to Gaur Nitai, they were stolen. So Babaji Maharaj said, these two pots are stolen. How can this happen without your permission, Gaur Nitai? You have allowed this to happen. Now you will be punished. They scolded him, and he said, you will not be given any bhoga today. If you want bhoga, then bring back the pots. This punishment had its effects. The next day, someone came quietly and delivered one of those pots. And Babaji Maharaj looked at those pots.
One
He
of the
said,
four.
one of the pots. And he said, this small pot is Nitai's. Okay? So Nitai will be fed today. But Gaura, if you want to eat, you need to get back that pot as well. And Babaji always did what he said. He would cook for Gaura, for Nitai, and he offered in the Nitai's pot to Nitai. And uh, Gaura, he had a long face and he was looking at Nitai, honoring Bhoga. And in the meantime, another man came and delivered the other pot. And Babaji Maharaj then cooked in that pot and offered Bhoga to Gaura. And then when Gaura and Nitai both had honored, he said with tears in his eyes, do I ever want to punish you? But both of you are so naughty that you always tease me. You don't know that I've become old now. I can't bear all of this mischief that you do. So what can I do? I have to punish you. But I don't like it when you don't eat. So it's very difficult to understand this mood of exclusive dependence and this uh, wonderful, sweet pastimes of the deities with his devotee, and especially the special relationship that the devotees have with the Supreme Lord. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigyeya na bujhaya. Even the most learned person cannot understand the activities of a Vaishnava.
And although Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he kept Gaura and Nitai hungry for one day. It's not that he went and ate anything. He was also hungry that day. And he starved himself too. But he had that sweet relationship with their lordships. Now, this relationship that he has, this kind of reciprocation that Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj has with the deities cannot be imitated. We should not ever think that we can be at the level where we can chastise Krishna, where we can punish Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you didn't do this, now I'm going to do this to you. No, we are not at that level. And therefore, we must be very, very careful that not to imitate such acts, but to revel in such acts, to think that how beautifully the deities are reciprocating. So, this is the ultimate objective of our performance of devotional service as well. That if we can also render sincere, loving relationship, devotional service to Krishna and develop our relationship with Him, then one day it will come naturally. Such sweetness we'll be also able to relish such sweetness naturally. It will come very, very naturally the day that Krishna would want such reciprocation, that we should be also qualified to experience such beautiful reciprocations.
So now let's listen to the glories of Raghunandana Thakur and understand why did Gopinath bite Half-a-Laddu.
So Sri Mukunda Das, Madhava Das, and Sri Narahari Sarkar Thakur were three brothers who lived in the village of Srikhanda. Srikhanda is a little away from Mayapur Dham, and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu was actually very, very fond of Srikhanda. He really, Srikhanda, the sweet Srikhand, but this village's name is also Sri Khanda. And Mahaprabhu loved this village because precious jewel-like devotees hailed from this particular village, like Narahari Sarkar, Mukunda Das, Mukunda Sarkar, and Madhava Das. These were three brothers especially. And Raghunandana Thakur was the son of Mukunda Das. In fact, when Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu took, after sannyas, when Mahaprabhu made Jagannath Puri his headquarters, all the devotees from Bengal, they would go once a year during Rath Yatra and they would go and visit Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So the devotees from the village of Srikhanda would also, under the guidance of Lord Nityananda, they would also go and meet Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu would be so pleased to see them. We all know the pastime of how Lord Chaitanya would organize 7 different teams to lead the kirtan in front of the chariot of Lord Jagannath. And Lord Chaitanya would dance, manifesting in each of those 7 groups. One of those 7 groups was from this village of Srikhanda, headed by Mukundadas and Narahari Sarkar and Raghunandan. So it's a very, very special family of Vaishnavas. So let us see the history of Sri Raghunandan Thakur.
So in the house of Sri Mukunda Das at Srikhanda, Lord Gopinath, Sri Gopinath is served with great devotion. One day, Mukunda was called out to do some work, and so he instructed in a hurry his son, Raghunandan Thakur, that go and worship the deity. And Raghunandan said, how do I worship the deity? He said, just go serve the Lord. This is the bhoga. Go and ask the Lord, keep it in front of him and ask him, please accept this, please eat this. And then he explained also that there's deities in our family for many, many generations. And it has been this deity, sorry, not it, but he has been worshipped by my father, his father, and his father, and so on and so forth, many, many years. And just as your mother feeds you every day, in the same way, he also has to be fed every day. And explaining all these things, that this is a very big responsibility. You should be very careful, giving it full attention, and make sure that Gopinath is fed. So Mukunda went out, Sri Mukunda went out. Raghunandan Thakur, he was 5 years old. Little boy, he was instructed by his father, so he collected the items for the offering to Sri Gopinath Ji, and he entered into the deity room. And Raghunandan at that time, since he was barely 5 years old, when he saw, he pleaded the Lord, please accept this offering, please eat this offering. I've been asked to feed you. And then he saw that Gopinath is just not coming and eating it.
And then Raghunandan started crying. That Gopinath, I'm telling you to eat. Why are you not eating? You eat when my father offers you every day. You eat. My father told me that how my mother feeds me, I should also feed you. But you're not eating from my hand. Now, if you don't listen to me, my father will be very upset with me. Gopinath, please eat. So Gopinath was so moved by the child's devotion. Gopinath spoke. The deity spoke. And Gopinath said, well, I have eaten. Whatever you have offered to me, I have eaten. And then Raghunandan said, oh, if you have eaten, why is it still on the plate? It's still there. Whatever I have offered, it's still there on the plate. You've not eaten. I don't believe you. So then Gopinath said, my dear child, my dear Raghunandan, I eat with my eyes, my vision. I have eaten. Please believe me. He said, no, I don't believe you. You have to eat. You have to eat, Gopinath. Otherwise, I will be chastised. You please eat. So just seeing the unconditional love of this little innocent child, Raghunandan, Gopinath became completely subjugated by the love of Raghunandan. And he just ate up everything. And Gopinath did not leave anything on the plate. And Raghunandan was so happy. He came back to his mother and he said, look, I made Gopinath eat everything. The mother was really shocked that, oh, that means Raghunandan must have eaten. She could not believe that Gopinath, she must have eaten. And then she thought that, oh, Raghunandan has only eaten and he's taking the name of the deity.
So sometime later, Raghunandan's father, Mukunda, he returns and he asked his son, did you do as I told you to do? And his son said, yes. So Mukunda said, okay, now bring the offering. And bring the prasadam, which is already offered as bhoga. So young Raghunandan replied, prasadam? I offered everything, just like you told me. And Gopinath ate everything. So what do you want me to bring now? So Mukunda was, what? This boy is not so naughty. Mukunda, Sri Mukunda Das, he thought, he's not naughty. He always speaks the truth. But has he eaten everything on his own? And then he's telling that the deity ate it? It's not like Raghunandan, but who knows? I wonder what actually happened. And he was thinking about this for some time. And another day, his curiosity was so much that he again told Raghunandan, now again, please go offer bhoga to Gopinath that day. But this day, uh, he went out of the house and then he again came back another way and he was hiding in a place. And Raghunandan was, he saw he was spying on Raghunandan. What does he do? Does he eat the offering on his own and takes the name of Krishna? Or what is going on? So Raghunandan, he was very excited. He was very happy to be able to serve Gopinath again. And he brought everything into deity's room. And as before, he again very insistently persuaded Gopinath, my father has asked me to feed you. Please take this meal. Please eat it. And as Gopinath, he came and he ate half a laddu.
He just did.
He just bit half a laddu. And Mukunda was peeping out from his hiding spot. And then he said, eat more, eat more. And Gopinath said, no, no, no. This much is enough. You go and show your father the other things. So he didn't try to cover up the fact that he had eaten what he had, but he did not eat any more. And seeing all this, Mukunda was so immersed in ecstatic love. Mukunda Das's eyes and his mouth were spread wide open. What? What did I just see? Gopinath actually came and ate, bit half a laddu. And he was so ecstatic. He came out, he picked up his son, put him in his lap, and he started extolling the virtues of Raghunandan Thakur with a voice which was like trembling in ecstasy. And all the while, tears of joy were falling from his eyes. And even today, those who are very, very grateful still can see that half-eaten laddu in Gopinath's lotus hand in Sri Khanda, in the house of Raghunandan Thakur, Sri Mukunda Das's home. And this is the glories of Raghunandan, who is non-different than Madan, the Cupid.
So this news of Raghunandan, little Raghunandan, that Gopinath ate from his, by the insistence of Raghunandan, this news spread like wildfire everywhere. And that, Raghunandan Thakur was such a dear devotee of Sri Gopinathji, everywhere, it spread. And one very intimate associate of Sri Nityananda Ram is Abhiram Thakur. And Abhiram Thakur is a very special personality because Abhiram Thakur, he actually from Swadeha, from Dwapar Yuga, he is Krishna's Sakha. In fact, Balaram's very dear Sakha, Sridama. And he was waiting in Govardhan. And then Lord Nityananda went to Vrindavan, to Govardhan, and called Sridam. They had this race around Govardhan that only Lord Balaram could actually defeat Sridam. And when, Sridam was actually 14 feet tall, very tall, Dwapar Yuga, men were very tall, 14 feet tall. And still, Sridama lost in that race. And when they came back, he realized that, yes, you are indeed Balaram, he told, and he surrendered to Lord Nityananda. But and Nitai said, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? Let us go to, Navadvip. There, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna, he's come there. He's doing some kirtan. Let's go. And Sridama said, look at me. I've got all this big, big matted hair. I'm 14 feet tall. How can I go with you? And then Lord Nityananda said, don't worry. Lord Nityananda manifested his transcendental plow and he pulled Sridam down. And when he pulled Sridham down at that time, Sridham, he manifested as Abhiram Thakur. Sridham manifested as Abhiram Thakur. So this is how, Abhiram Thakur is the only personality who came from Dwapar Yuga in his Swadeha, and he manifested as Abhiram Thakur. So Abhiram Thakur was so special, such a special personality that, it is said that Abhiram Thakur, he had a whip which was actually called Jaya Mangala. So when Abhiram Thakur, when he heard about, Raghunandan Thakur, he said, I really need to go and see this boy. And it is said that whoever Abhiram Thakur would, beat with his whip, they would achieve Krishna Prema.
And apart from this, Abhiram Thakur had a very peculiar characteristics that if he would bow down to any deity or any Shaligram Shila, if Krishna was not personally accepting worship as the Shaligram Shila or as the deity, that Shila or deity would immediately crack into 1,000 pieces. And another thing, if he would bow down to any person, any devotee, and if that devotee or person that he bowed down to even had one drop of material conception or material desire, that person would immediately die.
Hare Krishna. So severe.
And now Abhiram Thakur heard the glories of Raghunandan Thakur, the small boy who offered Gopinath, and Gopinath ate half-a-Laddu. And hearing this, Abhiram said, I will bow down to such a great devotee. I will go and pay obeisances to him. And so Abhiram started going to Sri Khanda, wanted to go and bow down to this great soul. Suddenly in Sri Khanda, there was panic. Abhiram Thakur is coming. Abhiram Thakur is coming to bow down and pay obeisances to our little Raghunandan. And everyone was afraid. And when the news came to his parents, Mukunda Sarkar, his father, he was worried. What will happen now? Now he will bow down. Raghunandan is a great devotee, but what if he has even one drop of material desire? He may die, and Abhiram Thakur is coming. So then, when Abhiram Thakur was at the outskirts of Sri Khanda, all of them took Raghunandan and hid him in a separate private room. And Abhiram Thakur came to the house, came to Mukunda Sarkar, and he said, where is Raghunandan? I want to offer obeisances to your glorious son. They said, oh, Raghunandan, he's not here. He's gone out of town. We didn't know that you were coming. So somehow or other, he's gone to some other place. So Abhiram Thakur said, curious, very curious. And then he sat there. Okay, there was a big banyan tree. He sat there and he said, I will just chant Hare Krishna here. And he started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He was enjoying this beautiful, holy atmosphere with all the banyan trees that were around. Of course, enjoying with Krishna, with chanting the holy names, not separately. And as he was sitting and chanting, somehow or other, this little Raghunandan just came in front of him on his own from this place that his parents had hidden him. Nobody knew. He got out of the house, he got out of the room that they were hiding him, and he came to this place, and he came right before Abhiram Thakur. And Raghunandan immediately offered his obeisances to Abhiram Thakur. And then Abhiram Thakur got up and he offered his respectful, humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Raghunandan. Everyone was stunned. What will happen now? There was deafening silence. What would happen to Raghunandan?
Imagine 5-year-old boy it's such a it's inexplainable what Raghunandan Thakur's parents were going through, that Abhiram Thakur is now offering obeisances to our son. What if our son just bursts into 1,000 pieces in front of our eyes? Of course, he will be going back home, back to Godhead, but imagine what the parents and the villagers of Srikhanda must be going through.
So listen carefully. What happened next? Raghunandan did not die, but rather he began to dance, and then Abhiram Thakur began to dance, and both of them were dancing and swirling and embracing each other, and they were covering each other with tears of ecstasy and love, and they danced and danced and danced together while loudly chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
And it is said that when they were dancing so ecstatically, because Raghunandan Thakur, although he was a boy, but in Bengal, I'm sure everywhere, little boys are also put ankle bells in their ankles. Yes. So one of the ankle bells of the lotus feet of Raghunandan Thakur, when they were both dancing so ecstatically, one of his nupur, one of his anklets, it just broke off and flew around 4 or 5 miles away into a village nearby, and it fell into a little pond. And that pond, that kunda, till today is called as Nupur Kunda. Nupur means ankles, anklets, or ankle bells. So that one is in Bengali it is said Nupur. So Nupur Kunda is called, that is what it is called. It's a very, very special holy place. In fact, Srila Prabhupada actually talks about this Nupur Kunda in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. We will hear about it in the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this is the holy place where Abhiram Thakur and Raghunandan Thakur danced in transcendental ecstasy in Sri Khanda. And as we were explaining before, that, right here in this courtyard of Abhiram Thakur's, at the home of Raghunandan Thakur, there's a very beautiful Kadamba tree. And till today, that Kadamba tree is there. And that Kadamba tree would grow exactly 2 flowers of Kadambas. It would give 2 flowers of Kadambas till today it gives. Whether it is season or no season, throughout the year, because in order to worship the deity of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath ji.
Even then, whenever Raghunandan wanted to offer those Kadamba flowers, Raghunandan would think, I want to offer Kadamba flowers today. He would go out and boom, 2 Kadamba flowers would be ready for him, blooming. The previous day, they were not blooming. They were not there. There was nothing there. And today, because of the desire of Raghunandan, the Kadamba trees would manifest 2 Kadamba flowers to be offered to Gopinath.
So one time, when Sri Mukunda visited Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri for Rath Yatra, many, many years later, Raghunandan was grown up boy, handsome young man by now. So Mahaprabhu, very jokingly, he asked Mukunda, and he said, "Are you the father of Raghunandan, or is Raghunandan your father, Mukunda?"
So he said, "Can you please answer this question to me?" And Mukunda Sarkar said, "Raghunandan is my father because he's the one who gave me Krishna Bhakti. Therefore, he's my father." And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very pleased with this answer. He said, "Yes, one who enlightens you in Krishna Bhakti is your spiritual master, is your spiritual father." Now, although Mukunda Sarkar was such a great devotee, he was so inspired by Raghunandan's devotion that he actually considered his son to be his father. That is the natural gratitude and humility of a true Vaishnava. And how much that made Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart so pleased.
So this is the glorious life of Sri Raghunandana Thakur and Sri Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, to whom we offer our respectful obeisances, and we beg at their lotus feet that the kind of devotion, the sincerity, the selfless loving devotion that they carry in their hearts for Krishna, that one day by their mercy we may be allowed to follow in their footsteps and try to imbibe that same mood of devotion.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Sri Raghunandan Thakur ki Jai. Sri Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai.
So the japa tip for today is the affirmation that I chant to be accepted by Krishna, and I chant to repair my broken relationship with him. When we are chanting, we can envision ourselves knocking on Krishna's door, preparing to ask him for forgiveness, and please forgive me. Please accept me back after all these lifetimes that I've turned my back on you. I know that I don't deserve this relationship with you, but I can only beg for your mercy that please accept me. When we are chanting, our prayer is, please engage me in your service. Please accept me because I've turned my back. Please forgive me and accept me. I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel horrible. And so I beg to be accepted. At the same time, we are also hopeful and we are also grateful because he's so merciful. We are hopeful of his mercy. Srila Haridas Thakur, he says we should always hope against all hope for the mercy of the Lord. And he will accept me, definitely accept me. I have that faith because he has introduced me to the association of devotees. Why else would he introduce me to the holy name? Why else would he introduce me to the association of devotees? He wants to accept me. Now I have to do my best to revive that relationship with him. This is a sign that we must be grateful for and hopeful for, while uh, also beg forgiveness. But we should not be ashamed, but we should beg forgiveness and be hopeful and grateful and have faith that we will receive his mercy
Hari Hari.
because Krishna is very kind.
So today, with this mood, we offer the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting to the family of dearest Anjudi, and for the protection of our dearest Anjudi's mother, for dear Hemangi Mataji's mother-in-law, for our dearest brother, for our very dearest Bhakti Mataji and Krishna Sharanam Prabhu, for the family of our dearest Amrita Radhika, for AJ, Nikki, and for Sundari Lalita Mataji and for her son Chaitanya, for Loganayaki Mataji and her family, and for little Mehak.
May the Supreme Lord Nrsimhadev grant protection and fearlessness to everyone.
And of course, we dedicate the chanting also for Ditya, for Keshavi, for the Hyderabad devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Jai Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki,
Hari Hari.
The questions for today are: first, name the 6 deities of Srila Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj.
Second, why did Gopinath bite half-a-Laddu?
Third, who are the precious devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Sri Khanda?
4, name the dear devotee of Lord Nityananda from Dwapar Yuga and what is his special characteristic?
Fifth, what does Nupur Kunda mean?
6, what is today's japa affirmation? Thank you so much, dearest Ranjani Gopika, for these fantastic quiz questions.
So we can open the lines for questions, comments, and reflections now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
obeisance.
Please accept ours too. Jai Shri
All
Prabhupada.
praise to Guru, all grace to Shri Gauranga. Such a wonderful, wonderful class. We get to hear glories of 3 great Mahajans. So thank you so much for that. And I always like the story of Vamsidas Maharaj. You know, he's a very difficult personality to understand because his dealings are, like you said, they're out of the ordinary. You know, you can somebody, unless if they're explained by great devotees, it's very easy to misunderstand him. So thank you for wonderful pastime. And I like the kirtan so much. It reminded me of Loknath Maharaj. I heard this kirtan.
Yes, this is one of His Holiness Loknath Maharaj's tunes.
Actually, we were with him in Atlanta. Maharaj was in Atlanta, and he for New Panihati in New Panihati Dham, and for the main arati, 1 year Maharaj had sung this kirtan, and it has stuck with us ever since.
Yes. I have his recording, and I have this kirtan. So as soon as he sang, I remember Loknath Maharaj. Thank you again for this wonderful kirtan. Thank you so much for all your prayers from Hek and everybody else. Thank you, Mataji Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Mataji, Davan Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Such a wonderful class today. All the 3 devotees, pastimes, so beautiful. And how that Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj have a very great relationship with the deities. Oh my God. Such a wonderful stories, Mataji. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the wonderful kirtan. This is one of our favorite kirtan too. So beautiful. And thank you so much for praying for Mahek. And they did the surgery today, and they just put something on his brain to take the fluid out, so at least he can have less pain. That one they can only do, but tumor they cannot take it out. They said no. Yeah, but only they put something in the brain so they can take the fluid out, so that way she will not get that much pain. Yeah, that's what she said. But the surgery was successful today. Yeah.
So we continue to pray for her, and please keep us updated on how her condition is.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
We continue to pray for her and her family.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Whoever wants to go, Krishna Sharanam Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Okay, sorry.
No
Hare
problem.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Such a beautiful pastimes of the devotees. It's hard to believe, it's so unbelievable stories how deities can interact with the devotees. So it is really amazing. And I wonder if that's possible nowadays. I know that all happened, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was here and the devotees were there. Do we have any real stories at the present time, Mataji, like that? Any, pastimes like that?
These are real stories also, Prabhu.
I know. These are real, but not happen, like recently, like in our time.
Right.
I mean, in our time, are there any stories like that?
Yes, there are. There are lots of wonderful, wonderful real-time stories.
Like Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj was during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time, which is like around 100 years ago. So he was very contemporary.
And even till today, we have so many pastimes from so many different deities around the world. From Mayapur, Shri Radha Madhava, how Madhava has burnt his little Madhava has burnt his little index finger, trying to lift a hot glass of milk, and there was milk splattered all over the altar. So that pastime is there. Then how
There is a whole website called narasimhalila.com. And if you go there, you'll see Ugrasthanu, Dr. Nrsingadev, of Mayapur, all his current pastimes
with with
documented there. And if we ask Jananivas Prabhu, he'll tell many pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. Even there are so many pastimes of deities around the world, which if we ask the pujaris, they will tell the reciprocation that he has had with the deities, with the devotees, other devotees, with the pujari themselves, like that.
Rajapur Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, very, very sweet and very cute pastimes of Rajapur Jagannath in Mayapur. That has happened even up to last year. There have been incidences in North America, in Los Angeles. The deities of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, at one point they were not being fed so nicely, so their dresses, were getting loosened. But then, somehow Srila Prabhupada wanted very heavy worship, deity worship in Los Angeles, in New Dwarka Dham. And then every bhoga offering was done in ghee and everything. And then the deities' outfits actually became tight. The deities became fat. So those pastimes are also there. So yeah, every temple, everywhere, wherever the deities are served very wonderfully, the deities reciprocate.
Even there are devotees whose home deities, they've had several pastimes with the home deities of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra or Krishna Balaram or deities like that.
It is really amazing, such devoted devotees, so much bhakti. It's just, unbelievable.
Yes,
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
When we were reading this pastime of Raghunandana Thakur wanting to offer kadamba flowers and the kadambas would manifest, there has been a pastime of home deities that one time there was a devotee couple and they really wanted to offer gardenia to their Baladev. And it was as if their Baladev was, asking for gardenia flower. And it was not the season of gardenia, but this couple, they had gardenias in their garden, but it was not the season for gardenia. But then after Mangalarti, they were chanting, but then they felt as if Lord Baladev is demanding gardenia, and they just prayed, and then suddenly there were two flowers glistening in their backyard, white gardenias bloomed, and they offered it to their Baladev. So such pastimes also happen in recent, even with home deities. Just depends on the sincerity with which we have relationship with the deities.
Yeah, I think things happen, but maybe we don't realize. Yeah. We don't attribute it to the mercy of Krishna. So many things happen in our in our daily life. We just say, oh, this just happened, but actually, there is a hand of Krishna in everything.
Correct.
So
yes. There is a very famous saying that if we leave everything in Krishna's hands, then we will see Krishna's hand in everything.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hari Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji, and with Pranam. All glories goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Sorry, Mataji and Prabhuji. I interfered when Krishna Das Saranam Das Prabhuji.
No.
Extremely sorry. No. Yeah. And beautiful narration, first of all. We envision we are able to envision the pastimes. We feel like we are there and witnessing all these pastimes with the Vamsidas, Babaji Maharaj, as well as Raghunandana Thakur, whatever he did, right? We feel. And I do remember one time Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj came to our Chennai temple. That time I was doing the service in the ground floor. He was narrating this pastimes, but my Siksha Guru was serving Guru Maharaj, and he came down and asked me to go and listen that pastime. So when I entered, Guru Maharaj was saying this Half-a-Laddu was offered to Gopinath, and he is crying. Raghunandana was crying. So I thought like one of the Goswami was offering, but now I understood the exact story. So that time I'm not able to ask to anyone because I knew to that time. That time I was new to the temple, so I don't know anyone. So now I came to know the entire story from you both. Really, you narrated very beautifully, so that I can able to envision that pastime. So yeah, as you said, we should not imitate that. We should revert the pastimes. Yeah, as you said. Yeah, definitely. We will serve. What is that? You will say, right? Dasana, dasana, dasa. Like that, we have to go, right, Mataji? Yeah. We are not deserved to, serve them, but through our gurus, we can serve the Lord, everyone. And one more thing, Mataji, I have one simple question. Like you both told like Swadeha, right? So what is the exact meaning of Swadeha?
Swadeha means that in this same body. Deha means body.
Okay.
Swadeha means with the same body, like the same body from Dwapar Yuga.
Okay,
like
continue.
Sri Dama's body from Dwapar Yuga became Abhiram Thakur.
Okay.
So Abhiram Thakur did not come from the womb, and he was not a child, and he grew up to become Abhiram Thakur. He is Sri Dama from Dwapar Yuga. He's directly Sri Dam.
So he continued from Dwapar Yuga into Kali Yuga and like that.
So he is Swadeha, like that we say. He's with that same body from Dwapar Yuga.
No reincarnation, no transmigration of soul.
Yeah, understood now. And you gave the mood of separation, the feel of separation in your bhajan. Yeah, we really felt that one. Very, very nice composition. So which you followed from Loknath Maharaj. It's very beautiful. So thank you for giving that nectar to our ears today morning. Seriously, we feel very, very blessed to have your association. You told, Prabhuji told, like, what is that? You told in between that anyone who enlightens the Krishna conscious to all of us, you should be considered as a spiritual master and spiritual parents. Yeah, you both for all of us, I feel. Yeah, you're enlightening us. And day by day, your session is like enlightening, enthusiasm. It's going up. And, very, very beautiful so far. So we don't want to miss anything, not even a single minute. We were rushing up all our duties, finishing before 6 o'clock and sitting here. Really, God bless you both of you, Mataji and Prabhuji. Really, I thank you so much for your wonderful session and everything. Hare Krishna. Then with Pranam, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Thank you so much.
We are all grateful to Srila Prabhupada and
all of
his disciples and gurus.
And all of you.
We are just repeating their words, and we are grateful to all of you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, if not, we can end here. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Wonderful
Hare
class,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Keshavi. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Amrita Radhika. Hare Krishna, Mitanjali Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Mataji. Thank you.